day, sir. Please help me, sir. Please. Please, sir, assist me.
What is the problem, young lady?
The taxi I entered just robbed me of everything. I just dropped me here.
Sorry, I hope you're not hot or they did not do anything to you.
No, I'm fine, sir. But please help me. Please. Please, sir. Please.
All right, just get in.
God bless you, sir, for me. God bless you very much. Thank you.
Young lady, this is as far as I can carry you because that's my destination. So please come down.
I beg, pay me my money, Jare. Wait. You think you go just service me finish? Come dump me for here. Don't go pay my money.
Are you okay, young lady? Service what? Please come down from my car, please. I don't have time. Come down from my car, please.
I promise you. I am as shocked as you are.
Well, you'll be even more shocked by the time we progress into this next segment on the program. Welcome back to the morning brief. And just before that, Jeffrey did say that the president had repurposed the new Ministry of Culture. And to that extent, he's also made some appointments in recent times that has got people talking and raising hopes indeed about the industry. The appointment of Ali Nuhu as director of the Nigerian Film Corporation. Well, we have one of Nuhu's colleagues in the film industry on the program today. So let's welcome Samuel Ajibola, actor, Nollywood. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, one of the first few things that I plan to say to you is that you are completely different from the character that you portray. Are you this cool, or you're just able to transit beautifully into your character?
Well, I've always been this cool, introverted, calm, but you know, growing in the creative industry has made me understand how I need to diversify my talents and interpret characters, you know, different from who I am. So I've always enjoyed doing it.
Interesting. So let's start with the appointment and the repurposing of the industry. What's the potential that you see with this new outlook of the Culture Ministry and the appointments, you know, that the president has made? What does it portend for the entertainment sector?
Great. I would like to start by commending the president on making such let's say, spot-on appointments for at least people that I know in my industry. Mr. Ali Nuhu, like you mentioned earlier, the Nigerian Film Corporation, spot on, as well as Dr. Shuaib Husseini, who I also know is also brilliant and has also, you know, been given a great appointment. So I think it's spot on. I think it brings great hope to the creative industry, as well as the other people that were also, you know, appointed.
I mean, 10 of them, 10 CEOs for
Obiashika is there as well.
Under the Ministry of Arts. I need to get this
creative
right.
Economy.
Arts, culture, and creative economy.
Yes.
So essentially repurposing, as we've talked about. We always say that there is a lot of potential in that industry, and I mean, yesterday was the Emmys, right? And we saw how big it was, how you know, some of those coveted awards were celebrated, how the event went. But behind that is a major industry. They have series, movies. Essentially, television is big, and we've seen the fact that our population is huge. We're not bereft of creative ideas and creative people. I mean, that was just a skit that you did. The skit industry, there's a skit industry, literally,
yes, right.
Content creation that is making waves. So it's been difficult to really move the needle because there's a lot of content, but we've not exactly seen that explosion that we want in terms of earnings for practitioners like you, job creation. Yes, we've seen a lot, but not as it ought to be. So how do we move that needle? Because I know there's a job of work ahead of them, but as someone who's in that sector, if you could identify areas that you say, you know what, we need to focus on this, and if we do, it will move that needle in the appropriate direction. What will it be?
Great, thank you for that question. I've always been a proponent of telling people that the Nigerian film industry is relatively young to Hollywood and Bollywood. I mean, we're basically around 30 years or so. And if we begin to compare these industries, we would see the amount of efforts that has been put into, you know, the other industries. For example, Hollywood. There's literally almost no film you watch that you don't see MGM, you don't see, you know, Disney or some of these multinational companies that are able to bring such huge finances to, you know, produce such films. They can drop as much as even $100 million. And so with that kind of money to invest, every aspect, every department, every personnel, every cast, every crew is sure to be able to at least, receive some very good remuneration compared to Nollywood here, where we're still growing on individual, producers and a few corporate, producers. So we still have that challenge of not being fully structured in terms of having huge, global companies that are ready to invest. So while we still have that, I also believe that we still have a problem of, restructuring ourselves in terms of how we organize things in the industry. The creative industry over here just started from individuals who were just passionate and felt that, okay, they wanted to do this, and had a few people that, okay, I had interest in this, why can't I put my money in this? And what that does is to limit the amount of finances that is available to any production. Thankfully now we are getting to a stage where we're seeing people that are putting and donating in large amounts of money, hundreds and millions of naira into productions. And we can see the effect of it. We really tell that, the industry has grown to an extent. So the more we get to such investments, the more we are able to come together as a people and work on the core areas where we need to get, the better the industry will be.
So you've made an important point, which I may want you to expatiate on. Now that a tribe called Judah has done over $1 billion, and we've seen big box office numbers as well, are you saying this is the right time to aggregate the industry so that it's not just pockets of success? So rather than have a Funke, Toyin, or all of these people, splitting energies, that as a businessman, he comes around, he looks at you, he knows that this industry is volatile, that, look, everybody did the heavy lifting, there are no guarantees as much as they were expected to be. Distribution, it could be a challenge for them. So they look at, for the businessman, there's something he's looking at. For MGN and Universal and all of these people, before they put money, there's a structure on how to make the money back. Exactly. So are you saying right now it is time for the industry to begin to talk about collapsing these, production houses, these small, permit me to use that word, please.
Of course.
These small production houses that we can now have, just like what the APC did before they could see the PDP. About 4 or 5 parties had to come together, including ABGA, New PDP, ACN, NNPP, all of that. Is it time now we begin to think of, say, let's recapitalize? I think that's what I was looking for. Recapitalize, like the bank, to say, before we can call you a proper production house, maybe you should be talking about 20 billion before you can be called a production house. So we can do big budgets. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not really.
Okay.
The reason why I would say that is, even as Hollywood is presently, they still have small budget productions. They still have individuals who finance movies. I can mention a few. I mean, Chuck Lorre, Dick Wolf, these are people that have personally funded their shows, and their shows are doing quite well. But then again, like I said, there will always be small, medium, and large, productions.
Okay.
But the larger productions, like I mentioned in Hollywood, have the backings of such huge companies. And if we could get such huge companies here to invest in it, then we also have a chance.
So when you say huge company, do you mean that the industry itself has to create these huge companies, or maybe a bank, X bank, has to now say, we are expanding our business beyond banking to say we're going into production? Is that what because yes. we are looking for answers here.
It could come in any form. It could also come in the form of the government. I mean, for years now, the creative industry has really been looking for the government to take the industry serious. And right now we're seeing the president doing that. So it's a step in the right direction. But like you mentioned earlier, the Nigerian industry also has its own fair of challenges that is affecting people investing. And the one everyone knows is piracy. Sadly to say, even as much as these new big films we are seeing are coming out, we're already seeing them pirated.
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes. There's still that piracy?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a very, very huge market.
No, like
we know you have a question.
I didn't imply anything. Just go on.
That's very suspect. but now that the president has repurposed the ministry and we have a creative economic component of it, tie that to how your colleagues are always calling for government intervention. Government needs to pump in more money into the industry. What type of intervention do you want to see to engender the intervention of those big corporations that, would have that confidence to bring in their own, put their money into Nollywood?
Institutional conventions to start with. That's where we first need to get it right. And then if we also tackle piracy, that would literally solve almost 80% of the problem.
Yeah. So let's talk personal. A lot of people want to know about you.
Let's leave the industry.
The hard conversation. And two things. By the way, MGM, I actually saw MGM on one of the movies, Breath of Life.
Yes.
So
it's a fantastic movie.
The fact that we're having
that movie is a class act.
Corporations coming in, just to mention, and a couple of other movies where you see those big names and you're like, oh, nice. But let's talk about you. A lot of people still call you Spiff, even though you've not been on the Johnsons for 2 to 3 years. But you know how these things are. People just pair you with that. But I'd like to go a bit personal.
Okay.
And we want to tie this to some trend we've seen of late. Cyberbullying and the rest. You and your wife have come under some fair share of cyberbullying, and you've had to take, I think, legal action.
Yes, I did.
This is a part a lot of people don't understand about people who are in public, space, who have put their lives out there in the public. The fact that you have your emotions and you are a human being. You're beyond that character, right? So I'd like you to speak to that. How are you able to handle all of those, trash talk that people were throwing at you and the rest? And what would you like to tell the fans out there? Maybe we can, meet halfway. You get?
Okay, let me answer your first question. You talked about me leaving the Johnsons and being on to other things. So yes, I'm an intuitive person. I'm someone that is led by my gut. And I also believe in time and purpose. I believe everything has time, everything has a purpose on the earth. I spent 9 years on the Johnsons. It's quite a long time.
9 years.
Investing into someone else's dream. And at that time, even before then, I had already started running Daily Issues, which is the comedy skit you run. I started in 2016. So I started building up my own thing to become an emerging producer and a director. So I got to the point where I felt like, I needed to take that bold step to leave my comfort zone, which everybody already knew that I was doing great. So I needed to leave it, because naturally I'm a very adventurous person and I'm a big risk taker. I was well aware of the risk I was going to take, but like I said, I listened to my guts, and till date I haven't regretted it. In fact, leaving has re-established me and redefined me more as a producer and a director. I've directed, I've done, I'm working as a producer on a very big project. In fact, big project.
This year?
Yes. Started from last year. In fact, from last year.
Like, is it coming out this year?
Well, I don't know. We just started pre-production.
You can give us an exclusive. Yeah, don't worry. We won't tell anybody. We promise you.
It's the brief. We're going to make it brief.
I'm still under, agreements that I can't speak of. But I can tell you categorically that they are big productions. They're really big productions that I'm working on. And that's for that. As regarding the issue of cyberbullying. Well, it is no new news that Nigerians are very opinionated people. And even in their opinion, a lot of those opinions come from, misinformed positions. The picture that caused the stir was a picture of me and my wife with the former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, of whom I am the youth ambassador to the Youth Development Center of the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. So I have a relationship with him. He is a huge mentor to my life. And so from time to time, I go there, I visit him. And on one of those cases, after I just had my son, I took him to see him. And, people mistook or started to assume that they first started to say, okay, my wife was a secretary to this. Then he moved from that to, he's the true father of my son, of which I won't deny, I'm saying this live on air. That picture, yes, my son does look like him there. But the circumstances around it, and it's a picture, so it's a still picture. It's a second, it's a moment of which my son was just waking up from sleep when we arrived. So he was just booting and he had those eye bags. So that those eye bags made him look like the former president. And people were all out, people were claiming like they were 100% sure that, the former president was the true father of my son. As someone who has been in the industry for almost 30 years, and I started as a young child actor, acting in films like Onome, Tears for Love, Conspiracy, I've been there, I've seen the whole 9 yards. I understand that sometimes people always talk. Sometimes you just need to let it go. But because that issue was beginning to linger for 2 years. And as a man who is married, a responsible man, I had to stand up for my wife. I had to stand up for my son. It got to a point I knew, okay, I needed to take legal actions to make people realize that, yes, you may have opinions, but you don't necessarily have to bring it to the public light. And, be insensitive to whoever is at the backlash of it. Because if we put ourselves in the same shoes, if it was them in that shoes, how would they feel? But this is something that I've had talk with my wife. I've let her know these are the things that comes with being in this industry. So we were prepared already. But we needed to use someone as a scapegoat, and that was the reason why we decided to take legal actions.
Fantastic response you had, because these are some of the backlash that comes with fame. That's why they say, if you can't face the heat, leave the kitchen. It's always. Time is almost. I wanted to talk about this stereotype. In fact, even when I see you, I drive around and I see you like. The first thing is spiff.
Do the spiff act.
So, first you're going to do the spiff.
You're not going to leave you.
So you're going to do the spiff.
Maybe you should address that.
You're going to do the spiff act. It's called stereotyping or typecasting. That's what they call it.
Stereotype, actually.
Yeah, stereotype, and then sometimes they typecast you because I know that moving from humor or comedy to something serious, typecasting can play a role in people taking you a bit serious. So maybe address that and give us a bit of the spiff character. We always have people do their thing when they come here, so please forgive us.
Okay, no problem. I'm listening to
So, the spiff name is something I have accepted that would stay with me for probably as long as I live. And I will not be the first person or the first actor to experience that. We know of Asofia. We know of Mr. Ibu. These are not their real names. In fact, a lot of people don't even know my real name. He says, Spiff, and I'm like, what's your name? I say, Samuel. Are you a Yoruba person? I say, yes. Oh, right. So that is always going to be part of me. But in terms of me still portraying the character, I felt, just like you mentioned, because of the stereotype issue we have in this country or in the industry, I needed to be able to step away from that character and let people see me in other lights.
Yeah. Fantastic.
A lot of Hollywood actors have done that. I mean, Will Smith started off as a comic actor.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't playing, foolish thing, but he grew into other things. And that's what I'm doing. I'm transitioning from, in fact, even before I became a comic actor, I had already started acting, drama and serious films before. But a lot of people didn't know me from that. The Johnsons was just the show that was every day, in people's faces and for years. So people got used to. In fact, a lot of people believe that is my true life.
Okay. There's a lot to talk about Mr. Samuel Spiff Ajibola. Permit me to say it that way. But we're running out of time. We're totally out of time. So we need to go. So we're going to just tell the people bye-bye or goodbye. And then you're going to close the show for us with your speed voice. The show is called The Morning Brief. So you say your name and say, see you tomorrow on The Morning Brief. That's what you do for us.
With the spiff character.
With the spiff character. So hey, that's the show for you. I'm Jeffrey Uzama.
Thank you so much for watching. I am Bukola Koka.
And I'm Kayode Okikele.
And I'm Samuel Ajibola, aka Spiff. Keep watching the breakfast show. No change them. We change them, we go change them for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you so much.